I once saw a movie review, and the tagline for the movie review said this is a movie written by psychos for psychos. And I don't know if any video game has that title yet. And if it's not, I would like to nominate Spider-Man Web of Shadows.
I don't recall inviting you, Parker.
What are you doing to these people?
Don't you believe in adoption, Parker? After all, you're the mommy. Kids, come meet Parker.
Spider-Man Web of Shadows asks the important question that if given the choice between being good Spider-Man or evil Spider-Man, what would you pick? And it lets you decide if you want to cheat on Mary Jane, let people die, beat up Wolverine, and that's just like the first 2 hours of this game. The creators said in interviews that this game was made in a 16-month window, and it was a result of sleeplessness and cocaine. And gentlemen, that comes through very clearly, and I want you to know I love very much what you've made. But anyway, how do you be evil? So in the game, you can't just like Grand Theft Auto it and just run around the city terrorizing people. No, what'll happen is the gameplay loop is you will talk to a character, the character gives you a quest, you go do the quest, go back to the character, get the next quest, go do the quest. It's pretty simple. You don't even really explore New York City in this game. There's nothing out there. You don't need to explore. You just kind of go back and forth. So it's very linear. But what will happen is during these moments, sometimes in the middle of a mission or at the end of a mission, the game will stop and the game will tell you to pick one of two choices. You can either pick Red Spider-Man, your buddy, or you can pick the Black Spider-Man suit. And it doesn't tell you what those actions will be. And then a video will play of you doing the option. And depending on what you pick, even though if you pick red suit or black suit, you still play through the game doing the exact same levels, right? The game itself stays linearly the same. However, the way people react to you changes. The character dialogues change. It gets to the point where I picked evil all the way. And people would just run from me whenever I landed in the city. People would just run away in terror. So that's the loop. Now, at the very end of the game, there's 4 ending options. If you picked all good, there's like the best good ending. You picked all bad, there's the bad ending, which the game wants you to pick for the record. And then if you picked some good or some bad, there's kind of the middle options you could get. Commit. When you play this game, just commit to one of the two. And I suggest picking the evil ones just to see it.
Prison to get a mad scientist to make a bomb to destroy the sin things without hurting any of the people. I know the Tinkerer's in there.
Uh-huh.
Of course, I'm gonna have to break him out of prison because S.H.I.E.L.D. and the police are after me, but...
Uh-huh.
Mary Jane?
So let's go through the game. What I mostly want to talk about is just the choices you make. I'm not gonna necessarily do a hardcore review of the different sections. It's an almost 20-year-old game. I don't think that's even fair to it, to give it that level of critique. I'll mention if something's fun or not. But anyway, the game starts with the most emotional opening ever. It's Peter Parker doing what he does best, God help him, just moping. His head is down, and as he walks, there's like an apocalypse. And they play really sad, sounds like one-finger piano music. It's very sad, very weird. The rest of the game is not this tone either. I don't know why they went with this opening. But anyway, then it launches into some scenes, and it shows you it's like a Venom apocalypse. And then the game stops and goes back in time to when you're saving Mary Jane, as one does, from Venom. Venom's trying to get her for... No, I don't think it doesn't even matter. Why?
You dare to take the others from me. I will take the girl from you.
Anyway, Venom and Spider-Man fight. Spider-Man ends up getting the black goo on him, which turns into the black Spider-Man suit. I know. And then Mary Jane, Venom runs away, and Mary Jane needs to get taken to the hospital. And this is what you'll notice. Peter Parker in this game, even if you don't choose the evil route, Peter Parker is a dick in this game. And here's even a great scene. This is the beginning before you make a single choice in the game. As he's running around fighting bad guys in the city, Mary Jane calls you. And it says, apparently you learn that this black suit has happened before. This is a story that takes place after the black suit story we usually know.
Yes, I saw it. Tell me it's gone, Peter. Tell me you don't have that black suit again.
Well, it's complicated.
You have it, don't you? You know what that does to you. You know how it can change you.
You know, it actually worked for me. At first. Maybe this time it's different.
I don't believe you. Get rid of it,
Come on, MJ. Venom is out there still. I have a feeling that something's changed. That something about the suit is different.
Yeah? Well, I have a feeling everything will be the same. Get rid of it. It's not who you are.
And Peter Parker doesn't ever think about getting rid of the suit. You keep playing with the suit as an option, and the game doesn't penalize you for using the black suit, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, so even if you pick all the right answers, rest assured that you're Peter Parker in this game. He's a dirtbag, okay? So there's some Spider-Man stuff. We meet up with a superhero named Luke Cage. I think he had a Netflix show, right? Seemed familiar. And he asks for Spider-Man's help to end a gang war. So you'll get the two gang leaders together, and during their meeting, you'll discover that they've been set up by Kingpin. And then you run over to the meeting, because at that point in the meeting, the two gang leaders have pulled guns on each other. And the game stops and goes, good choice, red suit, black suit. And I've picked the red suit. He shows the guys the evidence. They go, oh my gosh, thank you, Spider-Man. And then they just leave, They're just like, okay, all good. I guess we'll be nice criminals from now on. I don't know. If you pick the black suit, Spider-Man does nothing. He just lets them all kill each other. And then Luke Cage gets mad at him. He's like, why didn't you interfere or help? And Spider-Man goes on a very, something you'd imagine someone on like a bad part of the internet.
The streets are gonna be safe, gentlemen.
What are you doing? This solves nothing.
Actually, Luke, this solves everything. These losers have been played. Somebody had their relatives murdered to start a nice turf war, and these two were more than willing to oblige.
You knew this whole turf war was a setup?
You asked me to clean up the street.
First choice. And Luke Cage is like, I hate you. You lose Luke Cage as an ally. In this game, you can have allies who you can pull on to help you. Already there, the game didn't tell you what was going to happen. But the first choice you get is letting people die and losing the respect of your peers. So this is the first of 6 choices, okay? Now from there, Spider-Man goes to investigate Kingpin, and he runs into a character named Black Cat. And I only know Black Cat because every Spider-Man game has Black Cat. And Black Cat always is returning to crime, and Peter's always mad at her, and then they beat around the bush with trying to tell you that these two used to date, right? That's always the plot line. You always end up chasing her, and then you get into a fight with her. So you chase her, you catch her, you fight her. So you defeat Black Cat. And she gives this really tragic speech.
Look, I'm a screw-up, okay?
You think? You do a heist for Kingpin, try to kill me.
I was working from the inside. I got in over my head and I couldn't get out of it, and then you show up way too early and I get this huge rush from seeing you.
You attacked me. And what do you mean I showed up early?
I was doing it for you. So you would see that we were made for each other.
Ooh. I'm sorry. I had no idea you still felt like that.
Really? Well, guess what? I do. I still love you.
I know, not great. And then she tells him he should leave his Peter Parker life behind.
Whatever we want. Free from want. Free from responsibility. Free to have fun. You do like fun, don't you?
But I never thought about that. So that's interesting. Think of Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man, right? How much does his real life stress the dude, right? Just walking away from it. I see the temptation. So if you pick the good choice, which is red, after she confesses her love to you and her clearly mental health breakdown, if you pick the good choice, Peter goes, sorry, and he walks away, and she goes, you can't or won't. And he kind of looks at her, kind of does finger guns and goes, both, swings away. Peter Parker is a dirtbag in this game. The other option you can take.
You're right. I could use a little more fun in my life.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I promise you this whole city is yours.
Really?
Yep. And I know just who to take it from.
Big guy wearing a cravat?
That's right.
This decision will come back again and again. This is probably the biggest decision in the game, because if you pick the good choice, you go hang out with another Marvel hero who gives you quests. If you pick the bad choice with Black Cat now gives you the same quests. And from here, there's a lot of superhero stuff. You fight the Vulture, you fight Kingpin. There's some choices, but honestly, the choices are mostly when you pick red or black, it's just kind of which smart aleck response Peter Parker makes.
Sorry, old timer. Your flying days are over. Cops will be here soon to gather you up and put you back in the coop. Coop. I'm on a roll.
But anyway, at some point in the story, Venom comes back. And Venom apparently has been making these pods that he puts people in the pods. And then when he puts them in the pod, a whole bunch of little Venom goop monsters pop out. And so they're just kind of running around the city. That's like a plot line. This is the building of it. It's the first time we see them. And right now there's only a couple of them throughout New York City. Like you'll be like doing a mission. You'll like see a couple of them running by. But Wolverine shows up, and Wolverine does not believe that you're the real Spider-Man because you smell like the Venom suit, which you've been using a lot of. So you then have to fight Wolverine, and he'll stop the fight, and then he'll jump up and give you a quiz. And I think these quiz questions are like from the comics. I didn't know a single answer to any of these quiz questions. And every time you get a quiz question wrong, you reinforce his idea that you're not the real Peter Parker, and he comes at you, and you have to like fight him harder. So like if you knew the quiz, you didn't have to like, the fight could be really short, but I didn't know any of these answers. And so it was a long, like drawn out, bloody battle with Wolverine. Like you really knock him around. It's kind of upsetting. So anyway, he then teaches you how to spot who the Venom monsters are. And then we don't see Wolverine for a while. He's not super important at this point in the game, right? Wolverine's just gone doing Wolverine stuff. So at this point now, Venom is spawning little Venom monsters. And the city is becoming pretty crowded with them at this point. And this keeps getting worse and worse. S.H.I.E.L.D. shows up, which is kind of interesting because this is before any of the Marvel Universe stuff. I always kind of thought they made up the whole S.H.I.E.L.D. thing, but they didn't. S.H.I.E.L.D. shows up with like guns, and then the city just kind of morphs. Remember we talked about the city's kind of boring in this game? The city looks very post-apocalyptic. As the Venom grows, it just feels like it takes over the city. And then you're like, oh, I get why they made New York so bland at the beginning of the game, because they were going to cover it with Venom goo. And by the end, the game becomes almost a hack and slash. The only way you'll survive is you have to use the Venom suit. Spider-Man in his little red suit cannot handle this. So you end up breaking into prison as a part of the plot at some point. Things get kind of wild. And the more choices you've gotten, the more, as I was playing through the game, the world was becoming very hostile to me. Like the heroes were being very hostile to me. The only people who were nice to me were the villains. I'm seeing that now. So yeah, it gets crazy. Now, the climax of this story arrives because Mary Jane gets out of the hospital. And so Mary Jane in this, by the way, she only gets like 3 scenes in the whole game. But every time we see her, she is down a machine gun. She is awesome. And I run into her and Luke Cage at one point. And that was an awkward interaction. They were not happy to see me.
You got some nerve coming down here.
You are unbelievable. You like being like that. Admit it.
Yeah, I do. It's kept us both alive.
I don't know you anymore.
I'm still me. Only stronger, tougher, better.
So what's your story? Why are you here? Convoys are ready. Make sure they get off safely. And guard the rear.
Actually, I can handle this whole thing all by myself.
I'm going with Luke. Look, just promise me, no more of that dark suit.
Sure, whatever. I promise.
And then at one point, Black Cat gets taken over by the Goop. So you have a big battle, and ends up Mary Jane somehow is there for plot reasons. So you fight Black Panther as this gooey, ooey monster. You beat her, right? And then you have a choice. It's red suit or black suit. If you pick the red suit, you take Black Cat. You kind of throw her on top of the barge. Mary Jane's like, I love you, Peter. And you're like, I love you too, Mary Jane. And then Mary Jane flies off to take care of your ex-girlfriend. Good stuff, Peter Parker. Or that you pick the bad suit. And black suit, Peter Parker, I'll just show you what he does. I don't know how to describe it.
Hurry!
No, I need her.
Peter? Peter! What are you doing? What are you doing?
Alicia!
I knew it. I knew you loved me.
Get us out of here.
Yeah, so that happens. And at that point, Mary Jane, after seeing this, just says, she's out. She says, F it. And she just flies away. I don't think we see Mary Jane at this point in the game again. I think Mary Jane has realized this is a bad relationship. Good choice, Mary Jane. So then the game kind of goes to its climax. There's some other stuff like Wolverine gets taken over by a symbiote. So yeah, you have to fight Venom Wolverine. That's pretty fun. And then at the end, the very big final choice. You end up fighting Venom. It's this big battle on top of an airship. Very cool. Lots of monsters, right? He makes a plea to Eddie Brock. He's like, Eddie Brock, who apparently is Venom. He's like, I know you're in there. And this seems crazy, like we just decided to do this now after all this. But apparently that's all it took, because Eddie Brock like pulls the thing off. And he's like, I can help. And then you got to make a choice. And I don't even know what happens when you pick red. But if you pick black, Peter Parker tricks Eddie Brock and murders him. He murders him. Like, I'm not kidding. Here's the clip.
Got you. So long, Brock.
Right? He murders somebody. I didn't think they would let Spider-Man murder somebody. That's messed up. And then, once you've defeated Venom, that's where your endings come in. And the ending I went with, and this is the canon ending, by the way. They're going to make a sequel to this game, to that ending. It ends with you and Black Cat as Venom monsters, surrounded by your now army. You are now the Venom, right? You're in charge. And you and Black Cat are going to take over the city and maybe the world. And then the game cuts to S.H.I.E.L.D., and S.H.I.E.L.D. is getting ready to send Wolverine after you as a symbiote monster. And they were gonna make a Wolverine game where you were Wolverine trying to fight Spider-Man. They were having a good time with this game. Unfortunately, I think the reviews for this were not super kind. I don't know how sales were, but they never made a sequel to this, which is a shame. I loved it very much. I think a big elephant in the room that is weird to think about now, but I think a big reason this game didn't continue to have sequels, or maybe even the financial success they wanted, like on a big scale, was this had the exact same plot as Spider-Man 3, which had come out just a year and a half before this. And it's not like the game developers didn't know that. They actually used Spider-Man 3's game as the framework when making this one. So why they decided to do a Venom story so soon after a Venom story had just flopped quite spectacularly in the theater, that was an odd choice, and probably why I didn't play it when I was younger. I think I was kind of Spider-Man out at that point. But all in all, I think it's great. Is it worth playing? The boss battles are really fun. Everything else, like, the swinging isn't as much fun as it is in later Spider-Man games. The plot is really dumb. It's fun, but maybe unless you really like Spider-Man, or you really want to play a Venom hack and slash game, in which case this is the game for you, I would just watch the videos online. There's some clips we didn't cover. There's some other choices. All in all, it's a weird experience, and I love it a lot. And now we're going to transition, because this is a cooking channel. I know, and we have just made cheese. So we are going to transition, and don't click away. You all need to learn something. Betty's going to teach us how to make cheese. They made homemade cheese, and we ate it, and I didn't die. So we homemade cheese. We're transitioning in. Boom. What? All right, so this week we did cheese, something we've been pushing for, at least Betty has, since we started. But I was always scared I wouldn't be able to edit it together. But I think it's going to work out. So Betty, tell us everything you want to talk to about cheese. Oh no, I got it. You keep going.
That's all good. I don't know. It's just mozzarella cheese. I've been trying to make more mozzarella cheese and like get a really good batch in. So this was my 3rd time making it, and it's all right. Yeah, I think it's probably my better batch, right? Like it's like cheesy. I guess I could have maybe stretched it a little bit more, but here you can't quite see it. But yeah,
So like
but it slices well. It has like a little curve, like you can see the different parts of it. So yeah, we'll cook it. We'll eat it on some pizza.
And so she makes cheese in the kitchen of her apartment, which is kind of crazy. You should, like, if she gets going, she's being like, this is the least she's ever talked about making cheese. Usually when Betty talks about cheese, it's like an hour and a half about
It's not
cheese
an hour.
caves
No.
and all sorts of voodoo magic that goes on in it. I can't even comprehend cheese. Like, it's on another level. How much footage did you get today of, like, the cheese process? Like, how much is going to be in the video?
Yeah,
Okay.
I got it all.
One time, she
Yeah,
called me to
it's just
come
like
because she was trying to weigh down the cheese with bucks. And the only
pressing
way...
it. I was trying to press a cheese.
So it was like
Yeah.
cheese on the ground with just a pile of shaky books on top of it. It was crazy. Oh, and that'll be good because we can get it. This is supposed to be, for not that anyone who made it this far and didn't know what the video was about, but since it was about Venom, we wanted to get like, oh, I'm sorry, I ripped it apart.
You can rip. It's
Anything you want to tell us about this? I'm like scared to eat homemade cheese. But it tastes like
fine.
cheese.
Yeah. No, it's just like acid and then
That's
like
pretty
some
good, actually.
rennet. I use the rennet in cheese. I know there's a lot of YouTubers that are like, well, you can make it without rennet, but I don't know. I've never got it to work without rennet, so I use rennet in mine.
What's rennet?
Rennet's like an enzyme that they find in like baby cow stomachs. And they make it differently now too. You can make it out of thistle. You can make it like a vegetarian or vegan one. So this
Yum.
is pretty good though.
Well,
I can't wait to have this on pizza. It's pretty rad.
ooh, we're going to make it with pizza later?
Oh yeah, right.
All right. Well,
It's a little salty. I put a little too much salt in.
oh, I don't taste any salt.
But otherwise, I'm pumped to use this on pizza.
Any tips to give to people who watch this vet channel to see Spider-Man being bad and then they're like, wow, I want to go make cheese. Where does one start making cheese?
Well, I would just read a lot of recipes and watch like a bunch of different YouTubers because like different people have different ways of making it and maybe one way will work better for you. So I would just like read a lot of like recipes and then try it.
And, like Betty lives in like a 1-bedroom apartment and like makes it. So like you can make
you can
it.
totally make it.
Yeah, like she doesn't have like a mansion or something. She's like cooking it up
Not
down there.
rich.
Yeah, not until this channel takes off. So alrighty. Well, that's today's video. Any
Yeah.
final closing thoughts?
No, we're gonna make the pizza.
Sounds good. Alrighty. And perfect.
You okay?